So yesterday we made a really good start on getting all this membrane and batten ready for the cladding. At this point we can kind of leave it for a week or two, or until the cladding shows up, and we can focus on the roof, because at that point, once the roof's on and the membrane's on, we can kind of rest easy just in case the weather changes. So the plan of action for the roof is to use these mono trusses, which we ordered months ago. It's been a really nice way to do it, I think, certainly for the flat ceiling section of the building. They're going to be nice and simple to go on. We know the engineering stuff has been done, and everything we need was delivered all at the same time. Right, I better explain what we're doing. So today we've got the trusses going on, and the very first job to do is to mark up all of our wall plates. And you'll also see I'm not alone. Tom's here to give me a hand today, which is going to be amazing, because this, I'm pretty sure, is not a one-person job. So we've marked up all the wall plates, simple 600 sensors, starting at that end. We've come in from the end by about half, so about 300 mil, so that when we do our ladder on the end for a bit of an overhang, it's set off, but we'll explain that a bit later. So one suggestion was to get these braces up onto the wall plate and then just transfer across with a square all of our markings, but it's not like we're going up onto scaffolding. We've got them here. There's no reason to transfer it. We can just measure these anyway. That's probably enough braces to get us started, certainly enough for one half of the roof. So Tom's made a start on the clips. We're going to get in, well, we can get them all in. So these are the clips, this is the diagram, bish bash bosh. So clips are in now, and we're thinking, what's the best way of getting the trusses up? We want to get them up one half at a time, simply because we might insulate one half before we raise the other ones. But I'm thinking if I walk around, bring them up onto this bank, we can just about, possibly, slide them in on the clips, and Tom can get them in place, and then we'll temporarily brace them and hope they don't fall down. Well, how good is this looking? I think we're only about an hour in. We've got a roof. It's definitely taking shape. Now, although Tom is the chippy and he does he does mainly second fix work, garden rooms, things like that. He's not done too much work with trusses, neither have I. Fortunately, when you buy from a truss company, they send you all of the sort of engineering drawings, brace positions, hardware positions. So I'll give you a quick look at that because it's fairly straightforward. So it's not quite an IKEA project, but you can see our building here. This is the glulam beam and the pitched rafters, which we'll do next week. And here are all our trusses. You can see all of these dotted lines of reference, and that's our braces to give it strength, and that's what we're going to put in a minute. Plus this is the cross section, and that shows again the bracing positions, one at the bottom, one up here. I think they call these nodes, each point, and that should give it all its strength from racking. Only problem we've come across now, all of our clips are in where we wanted them to be, and the end of our trusses, this half, are going to end bang on the edge of our stud, if not in a tiny bit. Problem is, while this end are fine, over this side they just clash a bit, so we're going to have to, well, hopefully they'll pick up on just the holes in the nail plate. We can nail them off still, but I guess that's just because we've got a super shallow pitched truss, and it's just a coincidence where they fall. So what we're thinking is we'll nail off this side because we know where that needs to be, exactly on the edge of our centre line of the studs. And then we need to tweak this wall because this wall hasn't got any bracing on it anymore. So we need to make sure that we're 3 meters exactly from centre line to the outside of the stud. Then that way everything's running parallel through the building, and all of our stud wall, internal stud walls are going to be the same. Ratchet strap on here, and we've just cranked it in until we are 3 meters from our join line here to the edge. Tom's nailed off that side, so we know that this truss here in the middle is good. Right, side one is complete. We've got all the bracing in apart from the diagonal herringbone bracing. We've done pretty well. I think that's all gone to plan, apart from one mistake. But I'm going to come back to that later in the video. For now, let's get on with part two. Nice idea, poor execution. Right. We're back to nailing, so we've secured in one side, but what we're finding, because we removed all the bracing along this wall so that we could get the OSB on and all the insulation, we've got a couple here, but they were more for safety than anything. So what we need to do now is ratchet this wall in. I think we're 20 mil over, and then we should be able to get a few of these in, and that should hold it tight. we're pretty much a week on now from the trusses, but I haven't quite finished bracing it off. Now, before I start on that side, I wanted to explain that mistake I made last week, because we've learned from our mistake, we're not going to do it again. So the drawing called for this brace here to be on the left-hand side of that upright, which structurally I don't think would make any difference. But of course you can see that the plates are on there and they stick down from the corner part of the angle. The mistake was made because here it shows the RL brace all the way up against that joint in the timbers, but in reality it can't go up any higher than the bottom of this steel plate. It turns out that the reason it isn't such a bad idea is because above this red line there's a thickness of timber which runs diagonally, which is these dotted lines here. Right, we're almost there on the bracing, apart from the herringbone diagonal bracing isn't done yet. What we realised is we had two pairs of trusses left. One we've got to do the other end, but rather than building up this wall in stud work all the way up the kind of gable end, we've got the trusses, we may as well use them because we know that they're bang on. So we'd thought ahead and left the bracing long by 600, so we were able to slide them on knowing that they'd carry on through. I've still got to build a ladder off the end here to give us a bit of an overhang, but I think although we were going to start back here and carry it over a stud wall, I think it's going to be lightweight anyway, so it can be screwed to here, and then the big purlins that we're using instead of battens can run across the top, and that will hold it all strong. So we've done that side, we cut off the braces, then we'll run the wood fibre boards all the way up the outside, then the membrane, then the batten, and all of this will just be one big wall. Well, I'm not sure when or if I shot an outro to this video, but rest assured the trusses are up, the bracing is done, albeit one little bit that needs to go on still, and we are pretty much at a point now where we can move on to the big stuff, which is the glulam beam, which has got to be lifted up, a pair of them, and that will give us our clear sort of open plan living end of the building. So that will probably be our next cabin install video. We've also got a Q&A video coming up on the cabin. If you've got any questions that you want to ask for us to answer in that video, then leave them down in the comment section of this one and we'll pick through those and hopefully answer everyone's questions. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.